Hello, good afternoon everybody. Welcome back. Jiujitsu2000 here today. I'm back and I have an interesting video for you. This is a new flashlight that was sent to me for review from Orcatorch. This is model T20. This is an 18650 powered lithium-ion rechargeable flashlight kit. OrchaTorch.com, if you look right there, they are a company that makes a lot of dive lights, and they're breaking into the tactical flashlight market. This thing runs around $75, the retail price. This runs on a CREE XML2 U4 LED. It's got an intelligent memory function. It offers 4 brightness levels plus a strobe and an SOS function. So it has a total of 6 functions that it can do. And it runs on a single 18650 battery. This flashlight has an output of 980 lumens on the highest setting. That's 19,800 candela. The runtime on the lowest setting is 275 hours. It has impact resistance down to 1 meter. It has a throw of 281 meters, so that's more than 2 football fields. And it's also IPX8 waterproof down to 2 meters. Comes in a very nice little case here, like you can see. Very well put together, so the flashlight's protected very well. Let's open up this case and see what's inside. Now you can see that one of my little tabs is broken. It was shipped to me that way. I don't know if it happened during shipping or what, but not really that big of a deal. You're going to be pleasantly surprised at what comes in this case. It's pretty cool. You can see there's nice padding inside. It's really cool. There's not a lot of flashlights that come packaged very well like this. The first thing that we see here is the case that the flashlight can go into. It has a Velcro enclosure. It's got a little bit of stretchy material on the side. It has just a standard little case that the flashlight can go into. It's got a button on the back that you can undo. It's got a little bit of protection, a little bit of padding here. So it's pretty good. Pretty good standard little case to put your flashlight in. You can see the little tab says Orcatorch. Pretty cool. Thought that was neat. The next thing that I see here is a lanyard. Now, I have large hands, and I don't use lanyards anyway, but if I was a lanyard user, I'd probably have to end up making my own lanyard because my hands are so large. This one is a little bit small, and it kind of takes a little work to get this on and off of my hand. So if I was a lanyard user, I'd probably be making my own out of paracord, which is pretty simple. It's just a loop. But I don't use a lanyard. The next thing that you see here is a charger that plugs into a standard household wall outlet. It's got 2 bays, and it will charge 2 18650 lithium-ion batteries simultaneously. And if I look at the back here, it says that the input of this is 100 to 240 volts alternating current, and the output is 4.2 volt DC, 1 amp. So that's pretty cool. Nice little charger there. You get 2 spare O-rings for the IPX8 rating of the flashlight. There is an owner's manual right here on the T20. And in the owner's manual, there's several languages. So here is a closer look at the owner's manual. There's all the specs of the light. And right there, that's the page that I always like to read. If you look at the 6 different functions, you can go from low, which is 2 lumens, 275 hours. That's a long runtime. Medium is 50 lumens for 22 hours and 20 minutes. High is 350 lumens for 3 hours. And then turbo, 980 lumens for 1 hour and 35 minutes. Again, the beam distance is 281 meters, candela rating of 19,800, impact resistant down to 1 meter, and waterproof to an IPX8 standard underwater down to 2 meters. Pretty cool. This flashlight also has a very neat thing here. The working voltage is between 3 and 8.4 volts. And that's how you're able to get away with running 2 CR123s, because those operate at 3.6 or 3.7 each. So that's pretty cool. Very nice manual. Talks about how to operate the light, things like that, usage and maintenance. And then there's some information if you want to contact Orcatorch. So it's pretty cool. So you get that. It's pretty standard. And then right here you have a warranty card. And this warranty card is written in 2 different languages. There's the English version. Now right here, this is something that's pretty cool. You get a plastic case with 2 18650 batteries, which is super, super cool. Let's take a look at one of them. So this battery is a 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable battery operating at 3000 milliamp hour, 3.7 volts, 11.1 watt hours. That's pretty cool. High discharge performance lithium-ion rechargeable battery. It's a very nice, clean looking battery. Standard 18650. And I thought it was cool that they include 2 of these. So you can have one in the light and the other one can be on the charger. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put these babies on the charger now and let them get started. So they insert very simply. Let's go ahead and plug in this charger. You can see that the charger shows red indicators that these batteries are charging. Here's the first look at the flashlight itself. That's a beautiful light. It's not that large. The machining is really nice, very clean looking flashlight. OrchaTorch T20. It's got a belt clip right here. Nice steel belt clip. Got a mode button on the side. It's got a stainless steel bottom end here and a tail cap switch. That's really nice looking. Really pretty. Orcatorch.com. It says caution, hot. You can see the heat deflectors right here. So this will help dissipate the heat away from the flashlight. There's a look at the lens. This is 2 millimeters thick glass lens. You can see the LED inside. There's no eggshell pattern or orange pill design to this lens. It's a smooth reflector. This is just a beautiful light. Let's take a look inside. I want to look at the tail cap switch. You can see you have a nice little spring-loaded deal here. Pretty cool. The threads are greased a little bit. And then if you look inside, you can see a spring in there. This body of the flashlight is pretty thick. Right here you can see that O-ring. That's what gives us that IPX8 rating. So basically when we put this on and we shut this, the O-ring gets smashed underneath this portion and that creates the waterproofness. But that is just a beautiful looking flashlight. You can see the stainless steel bezel here. This is nice. This could be used as a self-defense application. Look at that. You just put that into somebody. They're not going to like that. It's not going to feel very good. You could even do that with the tail end of it if you had to. It's a little smaller in diameter, so you would be able to penetrate that surface area a little smaller, creating a little more damage. Also, you could use that for breaking glass and things like that. This piece here spins, and I think this would come off if you didn't want that. I believe so. Yeah, it looks like it's threaded. So that's pretty cool. Some very fine threads. That's just manufactured very nice. I like that they threaded that. That's pretty smart. Instead of just sticking it on there, they threaded it. That is pretty cool. Just a beautiful flashlight. These batteries are finished charging. You can see the green indicators there. So I'm going to take the batteries off. Now if you get confused on which way the battery orientation is, just know that the positive side goes into the flashlight. Just like that. And the flat or negative side will go against the tail cap switch. Now to operate the flashlight, it's extremely simple. We're going to push the power button on here on the tail cap switch, and you will see that we are on what appears to be the lowest setting. Now from here we're going to just give single clicks on this mode switch, and we're going to cycle through the settings. So there's the moonlight mode, low, medium, and high, or as some people might like to refer to it, low, medium, high, and turbo. Now this flashlight has a memory. You can see that I have it on the lowest setting right now. If I turn the tail cap switch off and turn the flashlight back on, it comes back on to that previously used setting. Okay, now if you want to get to strobe, you're going to push and hold this button down, and now we access strobe. Now if we want to go from strobe to SOS, we're going to hit that mode button one time. Now we will be on SOS. If we want to go back to our normal operation, we'll just push that mode button one more time, and we are back on low. Now if we go, let's say, to medium, and we turn the power switch off, remember the memory brings it right back to medium. There's high, off, on, back to high. And then turbo, it also works with turbo. So that's pretty cool. This flashlight is very nice. I really like this light quite a bit. I think it's got a good reflector. I think the pattern of the light, if you look at the shema here, notice the pattern of the light. You got a nice little hot spot, a little bit of a spill, and a wide flood. Pretty nice. There's medium. You can see the hot spot gets a little more intense, and you have a nice flood. So this light will not only shine a good distance, but it'll also shine a wide flood so you can see what you're doing. I really like it. It's a very nice light. I'm going to turn the light on. You can see it's on the lowest setting, and right there I've got some water. We're going to test that IPX8 standard. It looks like it's working pretty good. So it's completely underwater. And while the flashlight is underwater, I'm going to cycle through the modes. So you can see the flashlight there. So we got low. There's medium. It's working just fine underwater. There's high. Wow, that's bright. And there's turbo. A lot of light that this thing puts out. Now let's try the strobe function. So strobe warning, folks. Wow, that is very disorienting. Let's go to the SOS. Crazy. Now let's go back to the lowest setting, moonlight mode, or low. Wow, that light is very nice, and you can clearly see that it's waterproof and it functions just fine underwater, no problem. So IPX8 down to 2 meters. That's pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. Very nice flashlight. I'm on the lowest setting right now. This is 2 lumens. This will last for 275 hours. And just in case you were curious how many days that is, that's a little bit over 11 days, almost 11 and a half days. 2 lumens. You know, down in the distance you can barely make out that there's a motorcycle there, It's not really good. I mean, you can, the camera doesn't really pick up how good this light really is. This would be a good setting, I think, for just walking around and things like that. Or if you're in camp and you want to read something, look at that. That's plenty of light to read something or to look at something. If you had a wound or something, you don't want to blind the person that you're looking at. That's a good setting for that. The next setting that we're going to look at, okay, we're still on low here. The next setting that we're going to look at is medium, and medium is a little bit more power. We're looking at about 50 lumens, and this will last for 22 hours and 20 minutes. That's a good amount of light. Now if we want to go up to the next setting, we're going to go up to high. Now high is 350 lumens, and this will last for 3 hours. This is a really good setting. And don't you love the hot spot in the middle, but also the very wide flood? It's a good pattern that this light has. Now let's go to turbo. 980 lumens for an hour and 35 minutes. It's almost too hot in the middle. This flashlight has plenty of power. So if I'm in a situation like what I'm in right now, that hot spot being too hot right now, it's because I'm in a short distance. But if I was out maybe in a canyon, trying to shoot across a canyon or look across the street or something like that, this would be a good setting for that. Because again, the throw of distance on this is 281 meters. Okay, right now I'm on the low setting of 2 lumens. This is going to last for 275 hours. Remember, that's 11.4 days. That's a long runtime, and the camera doesn't really justify exactly what this light's doing. It does produce a significant amount of light, and 11.4 days is a lot. This would be a good setting to use maybe if you're walking down the street or something like that. Or for example, here I have a grocery list. You know, you can read things. You can see that the hot spot lights it up real well, and the spill area, you can actually read it better. The hot spot's almost a little too hot to read the notes, but this is a good setting. This is really nice, and the runtime is very good. So now we'll bump it up to the next setting of 50 lumens. Now on this setting, you can really start seeing things starting to work. This is going to last for 22 hours and 20 minutes. That's a significant amount of runtime. And this is a good setting for walking down the street. You want to see something a little further off in the distance, maybe a dog walking or something like that, maybe animals, looking across, going and getting, you know, walking around camp, stuff like that. This is a good setting. Then the next one we have is high. This is 350 lumens. I like this setting a lot. It'll last for 3 hours, and you can see that the hot spot is very hot. It's very bright, so it gives you that good throw, but it also has a good flood to it. So this is probably the setting that I would use the most. Again, this will last for about 3 hours. Now if we go up to turbo, we have 980 lumens. This feels more like 1,000. Like 1,000 lumens, very bright. This will last for an hour and 35 minutes. And we can see a lot of things with this setting. Very, very light, nice tight hot spot, and we have a good flood. You can see I really like the lens of this light. It does a good job seeing what's going on. Now if I push and hold the button down, we're going to go to strobe. Very disorienting for our attacker. We could use this in a self-defense application, or we can turn it over to the SOS function. Now they don't give any run times or lumen levels of these settings, but you can see that they do a very good job. This would be good to if you're trying to signal for help, things like that. It puts out its own little code for you. So that is the OrchaTorch model T20. I really like this light. It does a good job. Right now you can see a wide variety of 18650 batteries from different manufacturers. And on the left here you can see a short battery, and all the way to the right you can see the longest battery. Now the cool thing about the OrchaTorch is it'll work on any of these batteries. Now there's the OrchaTorch battery right there, that gray one. So if you take this flashlight and let's say you want to run the shortest battery of the bunch, you can insert that battery into the light and it will work just fine. You just close the tail cap switch, turn the light on, there you go, you got light, and then cycle through the modes, and that short battery works just fine. Now if you want to try, let's say for example, the longest battery in this lineup, which would be out of an A Tactical or a WowTac A1 or an A1S, this battery is long because it has the built-in micro USB charger on it. I don't know if you can see that from your camera angle, but that's why this battery is long. It charges. So we'll put that one in. That one's a lot longer, but let's take a look. We can still close the tail cap switch and power the light on. Now the light can cycle through the modes. So I really like the versatility of this light in reference to 18650s. You know, it'll run any of them. Like here's a very popular Sofern battery, kind of almost a short one. You know, it's a lot shorter than, let's say, the OrchaTorch battery. Again, we have the same thing. We turn the light on and you cycle through the modes. So OrchaTorch did a really good job on making sure that their light would work with all these batteries across the board. I like that. You can use just about any 18650 you have. And another thing that I really like is they took it a step further, and that is these CR123s. These are non-rechargeable, or you can use the rechargeable RCR123s, and the operating voltage of the flashlight is within the ability to run two of these. Okay, these are 3 volts apiece, so that's about 6 volts, almost 7 volts, and the battery will work just fine. Look at that, it turned on, and you cycle through the modes, and it works with dual CR123s, which is super cool that OrchaTorch did that. This flashlight is very well thought out, not just in reference to using 18650s across the board, different lengths and manufacturers, as well as their own battery, but the CR123s, the RCR123s, the 16340s, and the way that they are able to get this to do what it does is the tail cap has a spring loaded little deal here, and also inside the barrel, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a spring inside there as well. So if you look inside the barrel, I'm going to use my power tool to get a little light in there. See that? Just using the light. You can see there's a spring in there. That's how they're able to do the different lengths of batteries, because they have springs on each end of the battery. That also helps with impact. When the flashlight falls, you got a little bit of give in there, so that give also helps you with different lengths, different types. The battery will fit in there, it'll work just fine. The fact that you have the operation voltage so varied on here makes that a really nice flashlight. You can use it with all those batteries with no problem. I think it works out great. Big thumbs up from me to OrchaTorch. Well, you guys might be wondering, what are my final thoughts on the OrchaTorch Model T20? I really like this light. It's built solid. The functionality is off the hook. It's got very easy to operate. I mean, you have an on-off switch and you have a mode switch. It's simple. It goes in between the modes. It has a good memory. 2 millimeters thick glass. This thing is tough. It's waterproof down to 2 meters. I think the kit, you know, the amount of stuff that they give you in the kit is amazing. You know, it's not every day that you see a flashlight where you get a battery case and 2 batteries. So you could technically have one battery in the light and the other one on the charger. It's a really nice light. I want to say thank you to Orcatorch for reaching out to me and sending this out for review. I really like this light. I think the bang for the buck that you're getting out of the price point that they're aiming for on this light is right on par with a lot of the major manufacturers of flashlights that I review. I think this is a really solid one. I think it's going to do great things. And does it stand on end? Yes, it does. The mode of operation, the quality build construction, the way it throws the light, the ease, the simplicity, you know, the size of it, it's just a good light. So I want to say thank you guys for stopping by and checking out this video on the OrchaTorch T20. Hope you got some good useful information out of it. I really enjoyed this one. It's a good light. Please make sure that you check the description box because I'll put links down below where you can find this. And as always, folks, have a beautiful day and thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.